The small ship trembled as it fell through the thick green sky. Inside, Toma held on tight. He was not a soldier or a pilot. He was a technician on a mission to explore new planets. Their crew had been excited at first, but now the ship was broken and falling fast. The controls were silent. There was no way to stop the crash. Toma closed his eyes. The last thing he heard was a loud crash and the sound of trees breaking. When he opened his eyes, the world was quiet. The ship had landed deep. Inside a forest, Toma's head was heavy and his body ached. He moved slowly and looked around. The trees were tall, with thick green leaves and strange glowing flowers that lit up the ground softly. Toma tried to stand, but his leg hurt badly. He was alone. The rest of his crew was missing. He called for help, but no one answered. The forest was strange but peaceful. He hoped someone would find him soon. After some time, Toma felt very weak. He sat down under a large tree. Suddenly, he heard a soft sound near him. He turned slowly and saw a figure coming through the trees. It was a woman, but not like any human he had seen. Her skin was a soft teal color, and her hair was dark and shiny. Her eyes were large and gentle. She moved without fear. Toma felt calm looking at her. The woman spoke in a language Toma did not understand, but her voice was soft and kind. She did not seem dangerous. She reached out her hand and touched his forehead gently. Toma felt a warm light inside his head, and his pain became less. She carried him carefully and walked through the forest. The trees whispered in the wind, and small animals watched quietly from the bushes. Toma looked at her again. Her name was Rena, he learned later, but for now, he only knew her by her gentle smile. After some time, Rena reached a small village. It was different from any place Toma had ever seen. The houses were made from tree bark and glowing leaves. The air smelled fresh and clean. People with teal skin like Rena's moved quietly around. They wore simple clothes made from soft plants. They looked at Toma with curiosity, but no fear. Rena took Toma inside a round hut. Inside, the light was soft, and the air smelled like flowers. Other tribe members came to look at him. They did not speak Toma's language, but they showed kindness. One woman gave him water. Another placed soft leaves on his wounds. Toma tried to say thank you, but his voice was weak. Rena stayed near him, watching with caring eyes. The tribe did not rush. They seemed to understand that Toma needed time to heal. During the night, Toma dreamed. He saw stars and distant ships flying. He thought of Earth and his family. But the forest was so different, so alive. The sounds of the night were strange but not scary. He felt both lost and safe. The next morning, Toma woke to the sound of birds and soft voices. Rena sat by his side. She had a small bowl of fruit. She offered it to him with a smile. Toma ate slowly, grateful for the simple kindness. Rena showed him the village. Toma saw children playing near glowing plants. The tribe worked together, gathering fruits and cleaning water. Their life was simple but full of respect for nature. Toma wondered how long he could stay. He tried to explain where he came from. He used small drawings in the dirt and simple words. Rena listened carefully. She pointed to the sky and made a sound like a distant engine. Toma nodded. They both understood that Toma wanted to go home, but the elders of the tribe were not ready to let him leave. They told him to rest more and learn their ways first. Toma felt a strange feeling. The tribe was kind, but they did not want to lose him. Days passed. Toma's wounds healed. He learned to walk without pain. He started to understand some words in the tribe's language. Rena was his teacher and friend. She showed him the plants and animals. She told him stories about the forest and the stars. One evening, near the fire, Toma looked at Rena. He felt a strong bond growing. He was a guest, but the tribe was becoming his home. Outside, the forest was quiet and full of life. Toma knew his journey was only beginning. The strange world was not so frightening now, but he also knew the tribe might not want to let him go. The sun rose gently over the forest, painting the sky with soft orange and pink colors. Inside the round hut made of bark and blue leaves, Toma slowly opened his eyes. His body felt stronger. and the sharp pain in his leg was gone. The warm light inside the hut was calming. He looked around and saw Rena sitting near the door. She smiled softly when she saw him awake. Rena moved quietly to his side. She held a small bowl filled with bright red berries. "Eat," she said gently, pointing at the bowl. Toma reached out and took some berries. They tasted sweet and fresh. He felt a little better after eating. The hut was filled with simple things. From the forest, there were smooth stones, small plants, and woven baskets. Everything looked natural and peaceful. Toma felt safe here, but he still wanted to understand more. Rena spoke to the others outside the hut. They came in one by one. Their faces were calm, and their eyes showed kindness. None of them spoke Toma's language, but their actions said they wanted to help him. One woman brought a small cup of warm water with herbs. Another handed him soft cloth to clean his wounds. Toma watched carefully. He noticed how the tribe used many natural things for healing. They did not have machines or medicines like on Earth, but their care seemed strong and wise. He felt respect for their knowledge. Days passed, and Toma's strength grew. He learned to move around the hut and even stood with help from Rena. She never left his side. She helped him dress in clothes made from soft leaves and fibers. The clothes were light and comfortable. Toma was surprised how simple things could be so useful. The tribe's language was strange to Toma. It was soft and flowing, with many sounds he had never heard. Rena tried to teach him some words. She pointed to herself and said, "Rena." Then she pointed to Toma and said, "Toma." They smiled when they said their names together. Rena also taught him words for the forest and animals. Toma repeated the words again and again. He wanted to learn quickly so he could talk to others. The tribe was patient with him, always encouraging. Outside the hut, Toma could hear the sounds of the tribe's daily life. Children laughed as they played near the glowing plants. Men and women gathered fruits, cleaned water, and made small fires for cooking. The forest was full of life and quiet peace. Toma wanted to see more of the tribe's world. One morning, Rena took his hand and led him outside. The air was cool and fresh. They walked slowly through tall trees and soft moss. The sunlight shone through the leaves, making patterns on the ground. Rena showed Toma different plants. She pointed to a bright flower and said a word that meant healing. She picked a leaf and rubbed it on Toma's arm. It smelled sweet and made his skin feel cool. Toma smiled, feeling grateful. As they walked, Toma asked questions with simple words and gestures. Rena listened carefully and answered with smiles or small signs. It was not easy, but they understood each other more each day. At the edge of the forest, they reached a small clear river. The water was clear and cold. Toma knelt and touched the water with his hands. It felt refreshing. Rena showed him how to catch small fish using a woven basket trap. Toma tried and caught one. He was happy and laughed with Rena. The day passed quickly. When they returned to the village, Toma felt tired but happy. He sat near the fire with other tribe members. They shared food and stories using signs and simple words. Toma listened and watched. He was learning not only the language but the spirit of the tribe. That night, Toma could not sleep well. He thought about Earth and his family. He missed his home, but also felt connected to this strange place. The tribe's calm life was very different from his old world. It was slower, quieter, but full of respect for nature and each other. He looked at Rena sleeping nearby. Her face was peaceful. Toma wondered what her life was like before he came. Did she always live here? Was she happy? He wanted to know more. In the morning, Toma decided to try to fix his communication device. He wanted to send a signal to Earth. He hoped his crew or other humans could find him. Rena helped him gather small tools and parts from the village. Toma worked carefully inside the hut. The device was old and broken, but he believed he could repair it as he worked. He felt the eyes of the tribe on him. Some watched quietly, others whispered to each other. They seemed unsure about his machine. When the device finally turned on, it sent a faint signal into the sky. Toma felt hope. Maybe someone would hear it. Suddenly, Rena stopped him. She looked worried and spoke quickly in her language. Toma did not understand all the words but felt her concern. She pointed to the forest outside and made a motion like a warning. The tribe believed that machines could bring danger. They said the forest watches and does not like loud or strange things. Rena explained that the elders might be angry if they found out. Toma was torn. He wanted to go home, but also wanted to respect the tribe's rules. He turned off the device and looked at Rena. She smiled gently and took his hand. It was a silent promise that she would help him, but only if he was careful. The days that followed were quiet. Toma learned more about the tribe's ways. He helped gather food, learned to cook on small fires, and listened to stories told by the elders. The stories were about the forest spirits, the stars, and the ancient history of the tribe. Toma felt a new kind of peace growing inside him. He was no longer just a lost traveler. He was becoming part of something bigger. At night, under the shining stars, Toma and Rena sat near the fire. They looked at the sky and shared simple words and smiles. The forest around them was alive and full of secrets. Toma knew his journey was not over. He had many choices to make. Would he stay with the tribe? Could he find a way back home? The answers were not clear yet, but for now, Toma closed his eyes and let the quiet of the forest wash over him. He was a guest in a strange world, but maybe, just maybe, he was beginning to belong. The days passed gently in the quiet forest village. Toma woke every morning to soft light filtering through the blue leaves. The air smelled fresh and full of life. He had grown stronger and more curious. Now, he was ready to learn more about the tribe's strange customs. Rena greeted him each morning with a warm smile. She wore simple clothes made from soft plants, and her long dark hair moved like the wind. She spoke softly, teaching Toma words and showing him how to live like her people. The tribe's life was different from anything Toma had known. They lived closely with the forest, never harming plants or animals more than they needed. They gathered fruits carefully and moved quietly through the trees. Toma learned that every part of the forest was important and respected. One day, Rena took Toma to the center of the village. There, many tribe members were preparing for a special event. Colorful leaves and flowers were woven into beautiful patterns. The smell of fresh herbs filled the air. Rena explained, "This is the Festival of Light. It is a time to honor the forest and the spirits that protect us." Toma watched as the tribe worked together. Children ran with laughter, carrying small glowing stones. The elders arranged these stones in circles around the village. The light from the stones was soft and calm, like the stars in the sky. Toma wanted to help. Rena gave him a small basket and showed him how to gather the special flowers without hurting them. Plants. He was careful and proud to be part of the preparation. As night came, the festival began. The tribe gathered around a large fire. They sang songs with voices that sounded like the wind and the water. Their faces were calm and joyful. Toma listened and felt a warmth inside his chest. Then the elders began to tell stories. They spoke of the forest spirits who watched over the tribe. They said these spirits could see everything. They knew who respected the forest and who did not. Toma felt a shiver. He wondered if the spirits knew about him and his strange machine. He thought about the warning Rena had given him. The tribe did not like machines. They believed machines could bring harm. The night was full of light and music. Toma felt both happy and uneasy. He was part of this new world, but still different. In the days that followed, Toma learned more about the tribe's rules. He learned that every action mattered. The tribe did not waste anything. Food was shared with all. Every plant and animal had a purpose. Toma tried to follow their ways. He helped gather food, clean the village, and care for the young plants. He worked quietly, hoping to earn the tribe's trust. One morning, Rena took Toma to a quiet place near a river. She sat down and looked at him seriously. "Toma," she said in her soft voice, "you are different, but you are becoming one of us. The elders say you are claimed by the tribe now." Toma did not understand at first. "Claimed?" he asked. Rena nodded. "It means you belong here. You are part of our family. We will protect you." Toma felt a mix of emotions. He was honored, but also afraid. What did it mean to belong? Would he ever leave? That night, Toma thought about his home on Earth. He missed his family and friends, but he also felt the kindness of the tribe and the peace of the forest. He wondered what the future held. Was he to stay here forever, or was there a way back? The next day, Toma tried to speak to the elders. He wanted to ask about leaving, but the elders only smiled and told him to be patient. They said the forest had its own time. Toma looked at Rena. She smiled and squeezed his hand gently. She told him that he was safe, but the forest would decide when he could go. Toma understood. This world was full of mysteries. He was a guest, but maybe also something more. Days turned into weeks. Toma continued to learn and help. He became stronger, wiser, and closer to Rena. Their friendship grew into something quiet but deep. The forest around them was alive with secrets. Toma felt that he was part of a story much bigger than himself. He did not know what the future would bring, but he knew one thing clearly: he was no longer alone. The forest was quiet except for the soft sounds of leaves moving in the gentle wind. Toma walked carefully beside Rena, his eyes wide with wonder. Today, she was taking him to a place deep inside the forest that few outsiders had ever seen. The tribe had always told stories about this place, but now Toma would see it for himself. The trees grew taller here. Their thick trunks were covered in glowing moss, and strange flowers hung from the branches like lanterns. The air smelled sweet and fresh. Toma felt a strange feeling, a mix of excitement and respect. Rena stopped near a large stone covered in vines. She touched the stone gently, then pushed aside the plants. Behind it was the entrance to a hidden tunnel. Toma looked inside. It was dark, but he could see metal walls shining faintly in the shadows. "This place is old," Rena said quietly. "Long before the tribe lived here, others came. They built machines and towers, but they left, and the forest grew over their homes." Toma stepped inside. His heart beat faster. He had always loved old technology. He hoped to find something useful here, maybe a way to send a message or fix his ship. He moved slowly, careful not to disturb anything. The tunnel led to a large room. Inside, broken machines and cables lay on the floor. A soft blue light glowed from a console in the corner. Toma walked over and touched it gently. The console flickered and showed strange symbols. Rena watched nervously. "The tribe fears these machines," she said. "They say the forest does not like them. They believe the machines bring storms and sickness." Toma nodded. He understood. But he also knew technology was part of his life. He wanted to use this old machine to send a message to Earth. He began to work on the console, pressing buttons and trying to connect to his own device. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed through the tunnel. Toma jumped back. Rena held his arm. "We must be careful," she said. "The forest watches. If the elders find out, there will be trouble." Toma looked at her with concern. "What will happen?" Rena shook her head. "The elders are wise but cautious. They want to protect the tribe and the forest. They may think you are a danger." Toma understood the risk. He wanted to help himself, but he did not want to hurt the people who had saved him. He worked quickly but quietly. After some time, he managed to send a weak signal into the sky. It was faint, but it was a start. Maybe someone would hear Dot as they left the tunnel. Toma felt a weight in his heart. He had crossed a line. He had brought machines back into the heart of the forest. Rena held his hand tightly. "We will face what comes together," she said. Back in the village, the tribe noticed changes. The air felt tense. The elders met in secret. Toma could feel their eyes on him more often. He was still a guest, but now he was also a question. One night, near the fire, an elder spoke to Toma. "You bring things we do not understand," he said calmly. "The forest is alive and remembers the past. We must protect it." Toma nodded. "I want to help. I want to live here in peace." The elder looked at him for a long moment. "Then you must listen. The forest will guide you. Do not break its trust." Toma agreed. He knew he had to be careful. The forest and the tribe had given him life again. He would respect their rules. Rena smiled softly. She stood close to him and whispered, "You are part of us now." Toma felt hope. He was no longer just a visitor. He was learning to belong. But the secret of the machines was still between them. The forest held many stories, and Toma was only beginning to hear them. The forest around the village was calm and alive. The soft light from glowing plants filled the paths. Toma walked slowly beside Rena, his thoughts heavy. The days since he sent the signal to Earth had changed everything. The elders had spoken with him. Their eyes were serious but kind. They said the forest must be protected, and Toma's actions could bring danger. Toma knew they were right. He wanted to go home, but he also felt a strong pull to stay with the tribe. The choice was harder than he thought. Rena sensed his worry. She took his hand gently and led him to a quiet place near a small river. The water flowed softly over smooth stones. Toma sat down and looked at the clear water. "You have 2 worlds now," Rena said softly. "The one you came from, and this one. The elders want you to be safe. They ask you to stay. They do not want you to leave yet." Toma looked at her. "But Earth is far away. My people need to know I am alive. They will come for me." Rena nodded. "I know. But the forest has its time. You must listen." Toma sighed. He felt torn between hope and fear. He had dreamed of rescue. Now, he was not sure if he wanted it. That night, the tribe gathered around the fire. The elders spoke quietly to Toma. They told stories of past visitors who had come and gone. Some brought harm. Others stayed and became part of the tribe. Toma listened closely. He saw the love and care the tribe had for their home. He realized that he had found a new family, but the call of his old life was strong. He thought of Earth's blue skies, his home, his family. He wondered if he could ever truly belong to both places. Rena sat beside him. She looked into his eyes and said, "You are not alone. We will help you choose." The next day, a visitor came to the village. Toma did not recognize the ship at first. It was small and silver. Unlike anything he had seen, it landed near the edge of the forest. From it came to people in bright uniforms. Toma's heart raced. He ran to the clearing. To meet them, they carried devices and spoke in the human language he knew well. "We have been searching for you." One said, "You are safe now. We will take you home." Toma looked back at the forest. He saw the tribe watching quietly. Rena stood among them, her face calm but sad. He faced a choice: to go with the visitors and leave the tribe behind, or to stay and live with the people who had saved him. The visitors waited patiently. They did not pressure him. They only wanted to help. Toma took a deep breath. "I need time," he said softly. "I cannot leave yet." The visitors nodded. "We will wait." That night, Toma walked with Rena through the forest. The stars shone brightly above them. The air was filled with the scent of flowers and earth. Rena stopped and looked at him. "You are one of us now," she said, "but you are still your own person." Toma smiled. "Thank you for helping me. I will decide soon." The days passed slowly. Toma thought about his future. He helped the tribe and learned more about their ways. He grew stronger and more at peace. He knew he could not stay forever. But for now, he chose to live in the forest with Rena and her people. He was caught between 2 worlds. But in this moment, he had found a place to call home. The sky was clear and bright when the small silver ship landed softly near the edge of the forest. Toma stood at the village clearing, his heart pounding with a mix of hope and fear. The visitors had come back. Their uniforms shone in the sunlight. They carried small devices and looked carefully around. The tribe gathered quietly behind Toma. Their faces were calm but watchful. The elders spoke softly among themselves. The forest seemed to hold its breath. One of the visitors stepped forward. "Toma," he said kindly, "we have been searching for you. It is time to go home." Toma looked at the tribe, then at the visitors. His mind raced. The choice he made before was still hard. He did not want to leave his new family behind, but Earth was his home. Rena stepped beside him. Her eyes were gentle but strong. She touched his arm and said softly, "We want you to be safe, Toma, but you must decide what your heart says." The visitors waited patiently. They did not push or hurry. They only wanted to bring him back. Toma took a deep breath and spoke. To the visitors, I will go with you, but please wait. I need one more day with my friends here. The visitors nodded and agreed. They stayed near the village, watching quietly. Toma spent the day with the tribe. He helped gather food and shared stories. The children laughed and played near him. The elders smiled with quiet approval. The forest felt alive and kind. That evening, the elders held a small ceremony. They gathered around a fire, their faces glowing in the light. One elder approached Toma and gave him a small carved stone pendant. This is a symbol, the elder said. It means you are part of us, wherever you go. You carry the tribe's heart with you. Toma took the pendant carefully. He felt its smooth surface and the meaning behind it. He looked at Rena. She smiled warmly. When night came, Toma and Rena sat near the fire. The stars shone brightly above. They spoke quietly about the future. Toma knew his journey was changing. The next morning, Toma prepared to leave. The tribe gathered to say goodbye. Their eyes were full of hope and sadness. Toma felt a strong connection to these people who had saved him. As the ship lifted from the ground, Toma looked back at the forest. The trees waved gently in the breeze. He held the stone pendant close. He promised himself he would return one day. The tribe was now part of his story. He was no longer just a traveler. He was a bridge between two worlds. The ship moved steadily through the thick atmosphere of the alien planet. Toma sat quietly, holding the small stone pendant from the tribe. The soft light from the control panel painted his face with calm colors. His heart was heavy but full of hope. Earth was near now. The blue and green colors of his home world appeared through the ship's window. Toma thought about everything he had left behind, his family, friends, and his old life. But he also thought of the tribe, the forest, and Rena. The stone pendant felt warm in his hand. It was more than a piece of carved rock. It was a symbol of belonging, of friendship, and of a new way of life. When the ship landed on Earth, Toma was greeted with joy and relief. His crew and family waited with open arms. They had feared he was lost forever. But Toma's eyes were distant. He smiled and hugged them, but his mind was still with the tribe. He knew he could never forget the kindness and peace he found in the forest. Days passed, but Toma felt restless. The city noise, the bright lights, and the fast pace were hard to bear. He missed the quiet of the forest, the simple life, and the gentle faces of the tribe. Toma began to tell his story to those who would listen. He spoke of the tribe, their ways, and the beauty of the forest. People were amazed by his tale. Some did not believe him, but others were inspired. He showed them the pendant. It became a symbol of hope and connection between two worlds. Toma worked with scientists and leaders. He shared what he learned about the tribe's respect for nature and their peaceful life. He hoped Earth could learn from them, but most of all, Toma kept a promise. He sent messages back to the tribe. He told them about Earth and his love for their home. And then, one day, Toma returned. He stood at the edge of the forest, greeted by Rena and the tribe. They smiled and welcomed him home. Toma was no longer just a visitor. He was one of them. He had become a bridge between two worlds, a human with the heart of the forest. His journey had changed him forever, and in that change, he found true belonging.